What's going on, everybody? Nicholas Harris here with Major League Video Marketing, here for day number 4 of Social Media Week here inside of the private Facebook group, Major League Video Marketing. And today, I'm really stoked. I get to have on a good friend. We're going to have a good conversation. He is a beast. He is the alpha. He is the LeBron James current day of SEO, of website content, developing strategies for businesses, to specifically insurance agencies, on how to use SEO, their website, as not just a billboard, but really a brand driver, a business generator, and a profit-making machine. I'm here. That was all on the fly, dude. That was good. That was all on the fly.
That was awesome. That was awesome. The LeBron James reference, the alpha reference, was my favorite, actually.
Yeah, we try to, yeah. Well, I mean, alphas recognize alphas. But I'm here with my good friend, Chris Langille with Advisor Evolve. What's going on, dude?
Chilling, man. Thanks for that awesome intro.
Dude, I always try to make my intros, I always think of 80s wrestling, with, ring announcers introducing the Dean of Mean, the Master of Disaster.
Michael Buffer.
Yeah, I try to throw in as many adjectives and verbs and analogies as I possibly can. So
that's awesome. I appreciate it, man. No, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. This is a cool thing you got going on right now, man. Happy to be a part of it somehow.
Yeah. I think you're going to bring a ton of value too. I mean, so you're from Philadelphia.
Yep.
And you have a kind of a unique experience or perspective in that for many years, you were a business owner. You were an insurance agent. Yep. And then, you had this other skill set that you had. And then for a number of years now, or a couple of years ago, you veered off, went your own path, kind of carved out your own niche. And now you own what I consider probably the best insurance niche specific insurance website development company. Not just a website development company, but really a marketing agency, from consultation to all things. And so I think you are doing Sorry, what happens when we do it live. You are doing a industry specific when it comes to websites, and you really are just at the forefront from not just your features, all these things, and also, shameless plug for me and you are making the Major League Video Marketing website as we speak. You're putting that together, and I've seen the mock-ups, and it is going to be baller. It is awesome. And so, anyways, all that being said, tell us a little bit about your journey, your story. How did you get to where you're at right now?
Yeah, so I probably could write a book on my life, man, honestly. But starting from the insurance part of it, started off at AIG, selling insurance out of a cubicle. Got burned out after about 3 years of that, and then started working in a financial services firm in Westchester, which is close to Philadelphia. Long story short, eventually we started a scratch agency. We started a scratch agency inside of the firm, P&C, Medicare, Life, Health, Group Benefits, that I basically was the point guy for. And I also wore a couple other hats there. I was a chief marketing officer for the insurance agency and also the financial services arm, which, if anybody on the call or watching the video is that, securities license, about a lot of the compliance stuff that you have to get around and work around. It's very hard actually to market in the financial services space. At least it's challenging, I should say. It's not impossible, but and then I went to school for visual communications, and the entire time that I was doing or selling insurance or managing this or that or being a marketing guy, I was basically doing design work and building out websites. So before really anybody knew who I was in any of these Facebook groups or anything, I had probably 20 or 30 clients already under my belt that I was working with. And then, through the IOA Facebook group and just being in the industry with some like-minded individuals like yourself, my name kind of got out there organically, and one thing led to another. And I had to make the decision, do I want to do something that I like to do for a living, or something that I love to do for a living? And insurance served me very well. I don't want to say anything bad about it. It served me very well for, 12 years, but it got to the point where I just loved what I was doing so much more on the marketing and creative side. That's just how my brain works. And yeah, I've been doing it for 3.5 years now, officially anyway, with Advisor Evolved, and we got a good thing going, man. It's been a fun journey so far.
You do, man. You guys do a lot of great work, and I don't really ever hear a lot of negatives. I mean, I'm a customer. Everybody's a customer, and customers tend to be very fickle and very
Yeah.
opinionated, especially if something's not going right or not well. And typically, you're hard pressed to find a lot of people, if anybody, who says negative things about you or your company. And so I think that's really just a testament to how you guys and how you run your ship. So
Yeah.
kudos to you. But in the area of what we can do as individuals that own a business, or they're looking to take a step forward in our visual presence online, namely with video, how would you kind of recommend people get started, or what would you suggest? You take John or Jane, business owner, right? And they're not marketers, and
Right.
they weren't brought up to think like a marketer, but they know that they need to market and brand their business. What are some things that they can start doing right now that would maybe not immediately, maybe immediately, but would pay off huge dividends for them and their brand?
So are we talking about from like a website perspective, or just like a 30,000 foot view of like
A
whatever?
30,000 foot view, and then we'll drive in on whatever it is that you talk about.
Cool. So there's a couple of things that come to mind. Obviously, I'm a website developer slash designer. So I think there's a lot to be said about having a very well-designed website, but also something that is, best practice when it comes to what Google is looking for, in terms of code quality and how fast the pages load and all that technical stuff behind the scenes. But also kind of like what you do with the video stuff. Video is becoming such a big part of web development and just converting visitors into leads and clients and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of statistics that I could go into that talks about how video converts at 80+% higher rate than written text and stuff like that. People would much rather watch video than read through text. Obviously, you need to have text on the page so that Googlebot can rank the content and whatnot. But video is becoming such a big part of like search engine optimization and conversion and all those KPIs that people talk about, which is why I think you're positioned very well with what you're doing, to sort of serve that niche, because there's so many people out there, like you said, the Janes and Johns and the people that don't really understand marketing, but they know that they need to be doing this stuff. They just don't know where to get started, in particular with video. And it's a big thing. So to answer the question, I would probably say website, check that box off. Create video, create content for the website, check those boxes off. And I've heard you say this before, and you don't necessarily need to go out and buy a Hasselblad camera or a Canon DSLR or a Red camera or whatever. You can very easily get started with your smartphone. The iPhones or whatever, any Android phone they have amazing cameras now that shoot.
We're doing this on a webcam, right?
Do it on a webcam. You can get started and really put out some good authentic content very easily from your phone. And I would encourage anybody to just get started. Like, it's almost like content creation is like the old adage about the best time to plant a tree is 40 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. You can't get started soon enough when it comes to content, because that really is the driver of your brand, the authenticity behind your brand. And it also helps convert people into paying customers. Your brand is your money. So
Right.
definitely, the website, the video, me and you are sort of are big into to running paid ads and paid traffic now. That's a big part of it. We'll talk probably a little bit about that, but a lot of times people come to me and ask me about search engine optimization. And while that's very important, it's not the only way to generate traffic and generate leads and paying customers. And in some respects, it's the thing that we tell people to do last, because it's a long-term play. When people want leads, search engine optimization is a part of that. But when you want a lead, especially in the insurance niche, people want leads right now. And search engine optimization is not that type of delivery mechanism. It will generate leads for you over time. But you need to spend some time and invest in running paid traffic, whether that be Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, Instagram, what have you, if you want to generate leads quickly So I would say website, content, video in particular, and then investing in some other traffic generation channels, not just sitting back and waiting for people to find you and search.
Yeah. And that's really I mean, there's a key differentiator. I mean, I think a lot of people, I see the mistake that a lot of people make is they go all in on one over the other.
Yep.
So a lot of people will go all in on Facebook and running and trying to get lead generation through Facebook, yet they neglect their website.
Yep.
And then I see people who do the opposite. Now, Facebook is kind of the hot, sexy candy right now, so more people are getting in that boat, and they want it right now, and so they neglect putting in the work and the consistency on your website. But really, I mean, and you can maybe speak more to this, but there's a difference between intent versus disruption.
Yep.
Right? People search for when they're searching for things, and this is one of the things I tell people: you have to make your video content, particularly, you have to make it searchable. Because when people are searching for things, there's a different level of intent versus them scrolling on their feet and being distracted or disrupted, and then something catching their eye. Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah,
for sure. Real quick to touch on the other thing you talked about. Lead gen is a multi-pronged approach. You never want to rely on one traffic source. In the insurance business, you have organic, which is going to be SEO content. You're going to have paid traffic, but you're also going to have referrals, word of mouth referrals that you're going to get from existing clients, but also referral partners, whether that be a lender, realtor, CPA, what have you. So the key really to lead gen is to build a funnel for each one of those stool legs so that you're not just relying on one source of traffic or leads. Marketing is not a guarantee. You can run a Facebook ad campaign that falls flat on its face. We've all done it. So you can't just put all
Some
your
of us
eggs
have done it more than others.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's a lot of trial and error, and you can't really put your entire business model into any one funnel. You need to have multiple funnels that are working together to really be the most successful. That's probably the biggest mistake that I see business owners make, is just relying on one thing for their income. To talk about, I think I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but
okay.
You had asked about,
we talked about that there's a difference, and the reason why it's important to have both is because there's a different type of, buying is, people don't just buy one way. Some people buy with intent. Some people buy because they're disrupted. And really, that's where two platforms operate differently. If I go online and I search for something, let's say I want to search for I type in my Google search bar, the best insurance website company, right? I am searching with high level of intent. I'm looking for something in particular. And if I see your written content, and if I see your video content, and I see you position well, that makes that is different than if I'm just scrolling through my Facebook feed and I see a picture of Aunt Susie's kids, I see a picture of my friend John's pizza for lunch, and then I see an ad for Advisor Evolved.
Yep.
There's a different level of intent and a different starting point for each buyer.
Absolutely. And so video is a big part of that. So obviously YouTube is the second largest search engine next to Google. So people are using YouTube very much like they use Google. They're typing in questions, search phrases, filtering the results, et cetera. So from an organic or like high level of intent perspective, you almost need to treat your video content, in particular YouTube content, like it's a separate website. When you're uploading a video, and this as well as anybody, the thumbnail image that you use is important for people clicking on it. The headline needs to be SEO friendly. The description needs to be keyword friendly and longer with a link back to your site. You need to embed that video on your site as well. So you almost need to treat a YouTube upload as if it's a blog post on your website. The same optimization process needs to happen for that video to really, again, get the organic visitor that has a high search intent, but also you need to be willing in any business, whether you sell insurance websites or whether you sell hot dogs on the corner, you need to be willing to interrupt people. And video is an extraordinary tool to do that. I have a quick, funny story. I was in the mall one time, and the malls have the kiosks in the middle of the mall. I was probably, I don't know, like 23 or 24 years old, and some guy was in the middle of the mall, a kiosk. He was selling this nail polish type of system. It was like a sander, there was polish and whatnot. I walk by the guy, he like runs up and just stops right in front of my face. And he's like, can I talk to you about this thing or whatever?
That's dangerous to do in Philadelphia, no?
Dude, it really is. So I was like, I'm good, man. I'm good. And I like walk, and he like steps in front of me again. And it was such a like mind blowing experience, because normally I would be like, dude, get out of my face, or like people would be like upset or be, you know, angry at this guy. But it was like, he was so just like blunt. He was so persistent that I like, in my mind, I was like, all right, now this is like somewhat entertaining. I'm going to stop and hear this guy out. And long story short, I said no to this guy 10 times. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I don't need this thing. He's
you
like,
bought that polish, didn't you?
Buy it for your girlfriend or buy it for your mom or whatever. And long story short, yeah, I left with a bag of nail polish and and like all this other stuff. And like, obviously, like I tucked the bag like under my like arm so that people couldn't see that it was a
you
bag.
put it in your Nike shoebox.
Yeah. So, but like that type of like disruption / interruption is a very necessary component to any business. It's one of the reasons why people, you know, tax companies, they hire people to stand out in front of their house or their business rather, waving a sign to get you to pull into the parking lot and come get your taxes done there. Like, you need to be able to interrupt people and disrupt people, and video is such a great way to do that. And the funny part about it, man, is that there's so few people that are really doing it and doing it well, that if you just like even half-ass it, you're probably going to get a higher conversion rate than the guy who's not doing it at all.
Right.
So.
Right. Now, you were one of the first people, and I don't think you get enough credit for this, but you were one of the first people. There's been a lot of people who've come after the fact. You were one of the first people to really, and you incorporated this into your platform, the use of video quotes.
Yep.
So using video as a conversion tool specifically for a buyer. So if, for the people who are not aware of this, you do an estimate for somebody. You speak with somebody, you do an estimate for their insurance, maybe verbally or whatever. And then you follow up. Everybody has a different process, but you follow up with a video, maybe recapping the conversation or going over a proposal and using video as a closing mechanism for business. And I think whether you are in insurance or whether you're trying to sell a home or a widget or whatever you're trying to hawk, this is something that could be utilized in your business. But can you talk a little bit about where that came from and kind of some of the success or the testimonials that you're seeing as a result of that?
Yeah, so it's called Quote Vids, and man, it's really been an awesome tool. It allows the customer to really use their website from day one as an outreach tool, as a lead gen tool. You know, it turns the website into a tool, literally a tool that you can pick up and use on a daily basis. So there's going to be ROI from day one. And it takes the process of sending someone a video proposal from like 10 steps down to 1 step. And like literally my grandmother could use it. It's so easy to use. You literally log in and click one button and the software does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes for you. But it's been a game changer, man, for not only our business, but also our clients' business. Some of the feedback that they get from these video proposals and just video in general is amazing. Like, people are like, for the first time in our lives, we finally understand what a deductible means, because like no one's ever broken it down, or no one's ever showed us side by side our policy compared to this other one and why it's better. You know, you send someone a PDF proposal, they're going to look right at the price. They're going to bypass everything else. You know, right. They don't understand what that fine print is. So yeah, it was funny, man. It kind of came to me on a whim. There's a couple other people, close friends of mine, that I sort of like tested it with in the very beginning. And they also kind of gave me a lot of good feedback on, hey, you should do this, or, you know, how it should work this way. And yeah, it was something that we built. It took us a long time to build it. And it's huge. You can use it for so many, you know, there's so many applications, not just a proposal or a closing mechanism, but we had a guy that used it to approach an insurance company to get contracting. They had shut him down like 2 or 3 times before because he was small. He couldn't commit to a X amount of premium each year. So they were like, look, you know, when you're bigger, when you have a marketing plan and like you have a plan in place, we'll revisit the conversation. He sent them a quote vid. They were like blown away. They were like, this is the coolest damn thing we've ever seen. And they ended up sending him the paperwork for the contract. So like, there's just so many use cases for video, man. And you know, that obviously that tool makes it way, way easy to do.
Why do you think it's so effective?
Yeah, I think putting a face with the name is a huge thing that helps convert. You know, people, we talk about automation and we talk about all these nerd terms and stuff like that. But the reality is, in our business, no matter what business you're in, people buy from people at the end of the day. And, you know, it's one of the reasons why people in the insurance industry are okay with naming their agency after them, because in their mind, you know, people are doing business with them and their name and their brand. So yeah, it's one of those things, man. It just gives you a different view of that person. It allows you to see their face, hear their voice. What do they look like? What do they sound like? Like, we're shallow. Like humans, we need as many of our five senses to be stimulated. The more that you can do that with somebody in a sales or customer service environment, the better off you're going to be. And yeah, it's weird. It's almost like unexplainable why it works so well, but it really does. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked a little bit about how video can really help your SEO without getting too nerdy on it or too dorky. What are some of the major metrics, the major reasons why video helps somebody gets their website from page 2 or 3 up to page 1, and how does that work specifically?
Yeah, man.
Why should they listen to this?
Yeah. So for as smart as Google is, and for as many, you know, times they change their algorithm every year, in many regards, Google is kind of dumb. They still base a large part of their algorithm on backlinks, which is the same thing they've been doing for the last 10 years, and the domain age. So like, there's a couple of things that will probably never change with Google, backlinks being one of them. But video is one of those things. They just made a big change to their algorithm again. It's called Rank Brain. If you are not familiar with that, they're using artificial intelligence to try to determine what the search intent is of a query. And they're also using it to better understand what the person is searching for. Example, if I search for auto insurance in Philadelphia, Google will show the same result as if I searched for car insurance in Philadelphia. They understand now that auto and car has the same search intent. So that's Rank Brain. Another part of Rank Brain is UI signals, which is how long an individual is on a web page, right? That's a big driver now of their ranking algorithm. The longer someone's on a page, the more value Google thinks that page has. Video is the best way to keep people on a page. Obviously, you can have long form content that's like 4,000 or 5,000 words long, but video is what is going to keep people on the page. And you can just look at your Google Analytics and see time on page. You can break it down by URL, and you'll see that pages that have videos on them have a longer dwell time, which is going to improve the overall SEO, and the overall strength of that site. So it's a big part of SEO going forward is video, because it keeps people on the website. But it also is one of those things that it helps people convert into a client as well. You know, when they can see your face and they can see that you're intelligent and smart and you're not just another stranger on the internet. That's a big part of getting people to your website and converting them. The other part of it too is that you've ever searched for something in Google, not YouTube, but in Google, and you see a video in the search result. No matter where that video result is, whether it's in the first position or it's in the 10th position in the search result, you're going to click that video. So video in a search result gets like an 80+% higher click through than even a something that's ranking number 1 organically. People are going to click the video. So it's a huge part of SEO going forward. And that cannot be understated. And that's what I would tell people that are on the call or people that you coach or whatever. Just get started, man. Start with your phone and get video content onto YouTube. Embed that content onto your website. Again, optimize it as if it was a blog post, and it really will make a huge difference.
And just so that people understand that, so optimize, and you can add to this too. Optimize means giving it a good title.
Yep. Title, description,
using tags, using good, description in the body, and giving the platform enough information to be able to rank it, but then also giving the viewer or potential viewer enough information to want to click it. Right? That's what you mean by optimization.
Yeah. There's also been some rumors going around that YouTube will actually listen to the content. So this is why you'll see people doing this. They are speaking the keywords literally like in their content. So if I'm like writing an article about the best workers' compensation insurance in California.
You'll start off with that.
That's going to be the title of the actual video, but I'm also going to verbally say that in the video. I'm going to get the keyword in there.
Is that a real thing? Is that what they're doing?
I've heard from a couple of reliable people that is a real thing. Like, it's being tested, and like it will probably be a part of their algorithm going forward. Which,
well, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, it
does.
Sense.
It makes sense. I mean, it's some people might think it's shady or whatever, but I mean, Google, Facebook.
Man,
listen, come on, man.
Welcome to 2018.
Welcome to the internet, man.
Yeah.
So,
well, bro, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time, for stopping your day to help this and to do this. I really, really appreciate it. Again, you doing a great job. I mentioned it before, Chris is making the Made You Look video marketing website now. It's where you'll be able to sign up for the course. It's where you'll be able to get more information. That's a spam alert. But also, if you're an insurance agent and you are looking to enhance your brand online, you're looking not just a visual look, but looking for a deeper understanding on how to improve your company's brand online from a visual and a knowledge standpoint, then I can think of nobody better than Chris Langille and Advisor Evolve. Chris, where can they find you? Where can they get more information?
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, so advisorevolve.com is our main website. Man, if you just look at our FAQ page, it'll probably answer 99% of your questions. We also have a demo that we can send if anyone has any interest. But yeah, our website is our main point of contact for the most part. There's a live chat on the site that I actually do man the chat myself. You're not talking to a robot or whatever. So yeah, check us out if you guys, if anybody on the call has questions or interest in that. I'd be happy to help you with that.
We'll put the link down here below, but that's www.advisorevolved.com. Again, specializing in, and correct me if I'm wrong here, add to or take away, specializing in websites and a web presence for insurance agents. Do you also do captives, or is it just independent?
Yeah, it's funny. We didn't plan on doing captives, but we had a couple of farmers agents come over to us, a couple of Allstate people kicking the tires. So
it works. You'll conversations.
Yeah.
You'll entertain those conversations. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Chris. This interview will be live tomorrow. Well, pre-recorded live tomorrow. Check it out. Share it with your friends. If you know anybody else who needs to be in the group, make sure you add them so they can get this information. Once again, we are Made You Look Video Marketing. This is Social Media Week, day number 4. We are out. Thank you guys so much.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for having me.